Hello, happy Friday. Now, before we start, I want you to do something for me. I want you to think of one person in your life right now who's getting older. It could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your husband or wife, it could be the neighbor that you've known for 30 years. Just one person, and hold them in your mind for a second. Got them? Good. This whole report is about them. And if I'm being honest, it's about you too. Because this disease that we're talking about today, Alzheimer's, dementia, it takes two people at a time, the one who forgets and the one who has to remember everything for them. And almost nobody is talking about that second person. That's who this report is for today. That's the person that we're thinking of. I'm Sean Smith. Some of you know me from Wealthy Nation or Agent Wealthy Podcast. If you don't, welcome. And I'm glad you're here today because this is an opportunity for you to get to know me. Now, there's a quick thing about me before we go any further. One, I'm a certified dementia care trainer. My wife, Bridget, is too, which means between the two of us, we've spent more time than I can count sitting in living rooms with families. We've been there with families who are going through this very thing that we're talking about today. That's why I'm doing this report. And that's why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. Now, it's not going to sound like the news. It's going to sound like me talking directly to you. Okay, now here's the deal with June. June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Every year, the Alzheimer's Association asks us to wear purple. I got some purple stripes in my shirt today. They ask us to talk about disease that affects more than 7 million Americans. But here's the thing they don't say, and they don't say it enough. For every one of those 7 million people, there's somebody walking right next to them. A daughter, a son, a husband, a wife, sometimes a neighbor, sometimes a friend from church who shows up every Tuesday. And this year, Bridget and I are doing something that we've never done before. On June 30th, at the Cromwell Senior Center in Cromwell, Connecticut, we're hosting the very first Wealthy Brain Hour. It's free. Walk-ins welcome. We'll have coffee. I'll tell you more about that later in the report. But I want you to know, going in, we built this hour for one specific person, the family member sitting at your kitchen table at 11 o'clock at night who doesn't know what to do. If that's you, then keep watching. Everything I'm about to say is for you today. Now, let me hit you with the numbers. And I'm going to keep it simple, I promise. 16 million Americans over age 65 live alone right now. That's the census. 16 million. That's more than the state of Pennsylvania. And you know what that number is? That's roughly New York City and Los Angeles combined. Just alone in their kitchens. And here's what the science says about that. Not what your gut says, not what your neighbor says. The National Academies of Science. Social isolation is associated with about 15% higher risk of dementia. Excuse me, let me correct that. Social isolation is associated with about 50% higher risk of dementia. 50%. That's the same risk level as smoking. About 15 cigarettes a day is what they made the equivalent to. And I want you to think about that for a second. If your father smoked, you worried, right? You bug him about it. You send him articles. You hit his cigarette sometime. But if your mother lives alone and she goes 3 days without talking to another human being, without talking to another person, we just call her independent. Same risk level. but completely different conversation. All right, now here's a second number. 63 million Americans, 63 million, took care of a loved one in the past year. That's nearly 1 in 4 of us, up to 20 million in just 10 years. And if I had to guess, a lot of you watching right now are a part of that 63 million. You're the one driving mom to her doctor's appointments. You're the one staying up at 3 a.m. because dad is wandering again. You're the one managing the kids' homework on your father and your father's medication in the same evening. This isn't a side conversation anymore. This is the conversation. We just haven't given it a name yet. Here's what I want you to hear, because I don't think we say it enough. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. Loneliness is a brain health issue. We built a country where the people most at risk of losing their minds are the same people sitting alone in the kitchen at 6 p.m. They have nothing on the table but the news. That's the part that has to change. That has to be different. Okay. I want to share 3 things with you this afternoon before I go. 3 things I've learned while I've been doing this work. And it's not from books, not from studies. I learned from actually sitting in living rooms with families who are going through it. And I want to share them with you, all 3. Because if you're going through this right now, and many of you are, I think these might be the 3 things that you most need to hear. And the first thing is, the loneliest moment in dementia care isn't the patient, it's the parking lot. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. I've watched daughters sit in their cars for 15 minutes before going in to visit their fathers. And it's not because they don't love their fathers, it's because they don't know. They don't know which version of their father that they're going to find this time. Every time before she walks in, she has to brace herself. Like an athlete before a play, like a soldier before a door, just to go say hello to her dad. Now, if that's you sitting in a parking lot somewhere right now, I want you to know that I see you. The second thing, the questions families ask me, they're never the questions that you would expect. Nobody asked me how to slow the disease. Nobody asked me about the latest medication. Here's what they actually ask. They ask me, how do I know if she still loves me? They ask me, should I correct her when she calls me by her sister's name? They ask me, is it okay that I cried in the car driving home? And I want to give you my answer to all 3 right now. Because I think a lot of you have been carrying these questions inside, and nobody's giving you permission to ask them out loud. Today, you get that permission. She still loves you. Love doesn't live in a memory. Love lives in the body, in the squeeze of a hand, in the way her eyes find yours when you walk into the room. Even if she doesn't know who you are, don't correct her. Step into her world. If she thinks you're her sister, be her sister for 10 minutes. You're not lying to her. You're choosing kindness over accuracy. That's not a betrayal. That's love doing its hardest work. And about the crying, cry in the car. Cry in the parking lot. Cry when you get home. Crying is not a weakness. Crying is the body keeping the score. It's your nervous system telling you, this is hard, it's difficult, and you're doing it right anyway. Now, the third thing, and this is the most important one, families don't need more information. We have plenty of information. What families need is not to feel alone. In a thing that almost everybody is going through, I sat across from caregivers in this state and others. And they told me that they hadn't talked to another adult about what they are actually going through in months. Months. Not because nobody cared, because the conversation felt too heavy to start. Now, if that's where you are right now, I want you to hear me on this. This isn't a personal failing. That's what happens when we treat the second patient like a footnote. And this report, I'm telling you right now, is going to refuse to treat you like a footnote. You're a person. All right. One quick thing, because I know some of you have been seeing the headlines. This June, at a memory care community out in California, they put a humanoid robot named Abby in with the residents. UC Davis nurses are watching her for 1 full year. And this is the first study of its kind in the country. And the headlines are loud. On one side, this is the future of memory care. On the other side, we're about to replace humans with machines. Want to know what I think? As a certified dementia care trainer and as someone whose wife runs a home care business, here's how I'd put it. The robot is the kitchen appliance. It's not the chef. It can sit beside your mother at 3 a.m. when no human being is in the room. It can hold her hand. It can speak her language. Actually, 90 of them. It can ask her about her grandkids when the staff is busy with someone else. Those are real things and those help. But it can't replace your daughter. It can't replace your sister. It can't replace the human being whose name your mother still remembers. Even when she's forgotten almost everything else. Now, in dementia care, the chef has always been the family. The chef is always going to be the family. And no machine built in California or anywhere else in this world is going to change that. Ever. Now, all right, let's talk about what you actually do with this information. Because I'm not going to leave you with just the heavy stuff. That's not what we do here. I'm going to tell you exactly what I tell families. And this is what I tell families when they sit across from me. If you have a parent who lives alone, call them tonight. Don't text, call. Pick up the phone and call. And I want you to ask them one question. Who did you talk to today? And then listen to the answer. And I'm telling you, you will learn more from the answer to that question than from any blood test that their doctor will run on them this year. If you have a parent or a partner in memory care, go visit them this week. Not for an hour. Go have a meal with them. Sit through one full meal with them. That meal is the most important medicine you'll give them all month long. And listen, if you're the daughter, the son, the spouse, and you're doing this work alone right now, I want you to hear me on this. You are not failing. You're doing the hardest thing a human being can do. You're loving somebody while they're forgetting how to receive love. This isn't a small thing. That's the largest thing. And if you're exhausted, and many of you are, if you haven't eaten a full meal sitting down in weeks, if you can't remember the last time somebody asked you how you were doing, there are people who can help. The Alzheimer's Association runs a free helpline 24 hours a day. It's open right now as I'm saying this. 1-800-272-3900. Give them a call. They've been doing this work since 1980. You don't have to call your sister. You don't have to call your doctor. You can call them at 3 a.m. and somebody picks up. Because, and I want you to please write down that number or screenshot this part of the video. You might not need it tonight. You might need it next Tuesday or the week after or the week after that. And one last thing, then I'll let you go. I told you at the start, we're doing something this June that we've never done. On June 30th at Cromwell Senior Center, 41 West Street, Cromwell, Connecticut, we are hosting the first Wealthy Brain Hour. Doors open at noon. The program starts at 1:30. The hour itself is at 1:30. It's free. Walk-ins welcome. Look, I want to be straight with you about what this is. We're not selling anything. We're not pitching anything. You get enough of that. We're doing what should have been happening in every senior center in America for the past 20 years. We're putting families in a room together so they can look around and they can see that they're not alone. And here's who I want there. I want you to bring your mom, bring your dad, bring your husband, bring your wife, bring your neighbor, bring yourself, even if nobody in your life is sick yet. Because what we're going to talk about, brain health, financial health, and the connection between them is the conversation that should have happened at 50, not at 75 when somebody's already in trouble. It should be happening at 50. If you can't make it, share this with somebody who can. Head over to our website, agingwealthily.com. There's all kinds of information. There's links there for you to register. Or you can call us at 860-222-9445. Or you can call us at 475-209-8166. I'd love to see you there. Now, before I let you go, I want to say one more thing about why we built this. And we built this because the industry, it never respected us. We were customers to them. We're numbers on a spreadsheet. That's why we're building this nation. And in this nation, the citizens get the truth. So here's the truth. Alzheimer's is a disease that takes two people at a time. The one who forgets and the one who has to remember everything for them. This June, while everybody else is talking about robots and research and medication, I want you to remember the person sitting in that memory care parking lot, the one bracing herself before she walks in. She's a patient too. She needs care too. She needs us too. That's who we built the Wealthy Nation for. The second patient, the one nobody's going to write the headline about, the one who is right now at 11 o'clock at night reading this on the phone, watching this video on the phone, at the kitchen table alone, trying to figure out what to do tomorrow. If that's you, I want you to know something. You're not alone. You're part of a nation now. And in this nation, we don't age quietly. We age wealthily. Take care of your brain.